Hey, tell your fans a little bit about your fitness ideologies and how you train and why you train.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. That's a video I've been meaning to make. Yeah, first of all, I'm going to kind of go on this video, maybe make it 10 to 20 minutes at the most. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new, like and comment as we go. I'm going to put this on my channel trailer, might leave it up so it'll be on my homepage. For those of you who are subscribed, you won't see it, but let's get into it. My fitness ideologies. So the way I train myself and the way I think everyone should train, because I think if you have a strong opinion, it's okay to kind of not impose it on other people, but if you think it's the right way, it makes sense that you would want to help other people in that way. So the way I train and the way I think everyone should train, in the true sense of the word fitness and being fit, is having soft, loose muscles that can make strong, healthy contractions. I know several people, I play basketball, you bump up against guys and they've got really hard muscles. I don't know if there's any scientific benefit to that, but I do know that when people injure themselves, it's from either a lack of muscle, but you got to think of the physics of it. You hit the ground and your weight and gravity go into the ground's hard, and then it bounces back in because the ground's so hard. And if you don't have soft muscles that can absorb that impact, and then your muscles will take it. So I don't think hard muscles have any benefit in the sense, unless you're maybe a fighter or something. But I think very flexible. I think flexible comes from that term. So a true fit person would be very flexible, very loose. Breathe into their balls, like Elliot would say. They would have myofascial release, self-myofascial release, have very soft, malleable, almost like a piece of meat. You would eat it, and delicious, tender. So a good, that's what you're eating off the animal is the meat, the muscle. So think of it like that. You want to have really good, juicy, tender stuff. You don't want to have hard, gritty, meat. So the way I train myself is really more toward the nervous system, because that's what controls everything. You can have a lot less muscle than someone, and if you're stronger than them, I think that beats everything, unless you're a bodybuilder, which is again why I don't agree with it, because I'm not a fan of it, because I don't think there's much purpose for it. It's not functional, and in the end I like to say why. I'm one of those guys that always asks for why. So everything's got to have a purpose or something. Even maybe it doesn't have a purpose. You got to be passionate about it, or it's got to have a function. Otherwise, I don't see a point to it. So I train myself in increasing. We use the arm girdle, for example, increasing a range of flexibility. So the range of motion. So most guys say don't press behind your head, and I think that's true. If you have to really force it, because then you're tweaking muscles, and you're the ligaments and the muscles aren't used to stretching that much. But if you already have good flexibility, good range of motion, you want to build strength within that added range of motion. So hopefully you're always constantly working to have a proper range of motion. I'm a big fan of Ido Portal, I think his name is. He had a video with Rob Ross about movement and how there's no such thing as a bad exercise. And I think if you really think about it, you would agree. Your body's supposed to function. If there was something your body wasn't supposed to do, it wouldn't do it. You would break something, you would dislocate something so serious as that. So I think to say curling like out here might be a little weird. But I think if your body can naturally function and do that, as long as you have a decent range of motion and you're not using too much weight for that strength within that range of motion, I think it's really just movement. So the way you train your body is the way you're going to perform. And that's why I don't understand bodybuilding in a sense, is that you don't have to perform. You just have muscles. You just make the muscles more pronounced. And everyone's got muscles, and I think bodybuilding is just a fascination with different people's genetics, and the way people differ from each other. Just a fascination of people. I think that's what bodybuilding is. But I'm a fan of strength training, and really having the strength to back it up, and then aside from strength training, most people would call strength training maybe bench press, squat, stuff like that, deadlifts of course, but having a good range of motion to where, you know, perfect form, no lack of flexibility on maybe like an overhead squat or something like that. So an overhead squat's a good example because it encourages a very strict flexibility. Like I can't do a correct overhead squat, I'll admit, because my flexibility in my lower back is very terrible, and it's something I constantly work to improve in myself. So I'm trying to think here. I had a lot of things I wanted to say to you guys. If you're new, subscribe, comment, tell me what you guys think about your kind of the way you train, the way you think others should train, and the most meaningful form of training. I'm trying to think. So, you know, you want to have very soft muscles so you can interact with your environment. You know, run, jump, climb trees, and jump off boulders, and or play sports and land and hit, and have that absorption. Go into the muscle. So, I think the ultimate human or the ultimate muscle is it's a contraction of the muscle, a very loose muscle which encourages a lot of flexibility, and then on cue you can just contract it perfectly, and then that's where the next level of fitness comes, is where you have a sense of control. I think that control is the ultimate expression of power. That's a saying that's been around for a while, and it's the ultimate truth. So there's no functional purpose. Again, bodybuilding, you'll agree, bodybuilders, there's really no purpose to it other than a fascination of different people's genetics, maybe pushing your genetic potential to the limit. But I think in terms of potential, you have to have strength to really achieve your full potential. So, and flexibility too. Is a lot of amazing feats that can be done, and you see it in star athletes all the time. So one of the things I think is most important, like I said, is the range of motion. Having that flexibility, I think, is the first. And then having the strength shortly after, very shortly after. The strength and flexibility should come at the same time. And then the power, which is, I think the definition of power would be a mixture of, a very strong mixture of speed and strength. So there's no power if you're not doing it, contracting quickly. So that's the definition of power. I believe that's, maybe in the dictionary, or someone said it once. Power and strength. Strength and speed, put together. And then I think the ultimate expression of power is control. Anyone can throw a punch as hard as they want, but is it well placed? Is it exactly where you want it to go? Are you jumping in the proper angle that you want to go, or are you just kind of being a beast, being raw and going through whatever the motions are? I think the next level of competition, even in sports, is that ultimate control. And you see it in basketball. I'm a big fan of basketball because it's not only becoming a very more physical game, which I enjoy, and most old timers don't. I enjoy the physical part. The muscles, the amount of muscle the guys need to have has been increasing. Increasing, the amount of muscle that they need just to, play in the paint. So, when it comes to basketball, it's not only a very physical sport. In my opinion, it's the ultimate sport. Some that rival it closely, but every single player has a chance, almost every play, to affect the game. That doesn't happen in baseball. There's guys that never touch the ball, an inning. They might not ever touch the ball. So, and that's why they throw it around. And I'm very cynical when it comes to baseball. Everyone knows me who knows that. So basketball, you have to have that athletic ability. You have to have power, because you know how big those guys are now. You have to have pretty good genetics to be tall and have your body hold up with all the amount of that stress. And then when it comes to the skill that it requires to make those shots off balance, that's the ultimate expression of their power, is that control. And I think we get away from that when we think of the word skill. We just think of it as an ability. I think it's a wide set of abilities, and be able to do it the best possible way, I think, is the true definition of skill. So you guys can see the background. We're up here in the sequoias. I kind of wanted to share a little bit of my ideals when it comes to, I'm a personal trainer, and I have passion for fitness. Obviously, I have this YouTube channel. One of the things I just wanted to do is maybe I'll re-up on this video. There's no doubt things that I've missed, but I just want to share that with you guys. If you're still watching, please comment. Tell me what you saw, what you'd like to see. Subscribe. Be looking out for more videos of me and Montana. It is the summer now. She's moving on to college. What is it? Full ride basically. Almost a mixture of academic and then volleyball scholarship. And have you decided yet if you're going to take them up on that track scholarship too? Okay, and that's for high jump?
No.
What is it for?
Probably heptathlete or javelin.
What's heptathlete?
7 events.
Really? You're going to do that?
Yeah.
That's intense. We'll have to get your training set up for that. I had intended on training her for vertical jump and general conditioning. You know what I just said. So you'll see me training her, and I want to get at least three videos up during the week. So if I'm slow on business when it comes to personal training, I could mope around and try to scheme of new ways to get training, which is great, but the moping around is not great. Or I can, put my energy into another part of my life, which is YouTube. So there's different parts of my life. You've seen the last few weeks I've been a little bit slow because I've been really focused on training. I'm really trying to equalize things now. So try to see a video of my training a week, a video of Montana's training a week, of what I have her do for her training. Be looking for her to hit those heavy numbers. I think she has a lot of potential, especially in the deadlift and squats. So, and then also look out for the third video. Maybe one of those CrossFit kind of videos we did where we come up with a bunch of exercises to do, and maybe like a 5-minute video or a 7-10 minute video of like an exercise. Maybe we could even do it in real time and see her conditioning evolve over time. So if you're still watching, please tell me. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video, it always helps. Peace, guys.